My week has been okay so far. Just a lot of work and um, but productive work, so it's just been really good. Um, Today I want to talk about something that I've honestly been thinking about for I don't know, probably over a year at this point, um, in many different facets of health and wellness. And that's really kind of like about trying to outsmart the body and to some degree, right? And so one of the things that's great, and one of the reasons why I love the health, wellness, and fitness space is because the science and the research around how the human body works under various conditions is, just exciting to me. It's insightful. We can learn all about this amazing body that we live in and better understand what's happening. And we can use that information to try to improve our health, right? And reach goals that we have and live a longer life and live a healthier life and to take that extra time and to put it to good use, whether that be for, having more time to spend with the people that you love or impacting the world in some way that's meaningful to you. And like we can do a lot of great things with the extra time that we've gained by learning about how the human body works. But sometimes I think that, especially in today's world where it's about the clicks and the views and things like that, that we try to take what we've learned in through science and research about the human body in relation to health and wellness, and we try to apply it in ways that are overly complex and can sometimes be to our own detriment, right? And I think in lots of cases can leave people a little confused and like just make it very intimidating to make change or to um, enact or figure out what they need to do, right? Because it seems overly complex and overly complicated. And one of the things that has come to it's been heavily studied over the past several years, and is talked about a lot is hormones, right? We have lots of hormones in our body, right? And we're learning more and more about what all these hormones do and what they regulate and how people can have low or high amounts of these in their bodies and what causes them to be low or high. And then um, we can, once we know those things, we can enact change on them, right? But there's also certain natural fluctuations in our hormones that happen because we are human, not that because there's anything wrong, not that they're because that we're sick or unhealthy in any way, but we just see kind of a circadian rhythm to many of the hormones in our body. A good example is like melatonin. It's a hormone. It makes us sleepy. It rises in the evening and and lowers in the morning. Rises in the evening, makes us sleepy. We fall asleep. Lowers in the morning so we can wake up and be more alert and go about our day. And there's the opposite of melatonin, which is cortisol, which does basically has the opposite trend, right? So it is high in the morning and then lowers in the evening, right? And that hormone makes us awake and alert and gives us energy to do things and stuff like that. Um, and so there's certain like we can see these natural variations in our hormones throughout the day, and we can try to optimize things, right? We want to do certain things when we wake up to promote optimal cortisol release, right? We can do things when we go to sleep, right, to promote optimal melatonin release. We think about maybe not staring at a screen late at night, or doing something kind of stressful thing late at night, or eating too close to bed. Like these are all things that can promote optimal melatonin release at night, so that we can um, fall asleep easier. And even things we do during the day can promote optimal melatonin release, like getting outside in the morning and seeing some sunlight, getting some sunlight in your eyes at some point in the morning will help promote optimal melatonin release at night, right? And these are all great things, but we don't want to promote like an anti-fragility mindset around these things, right? Like, what if I look at a screen at night? Am I completely hosed, right? Is my melatonin not going to be optimized? And then do I need to supplement to make sure that it's up to the right levels and stuff like that? Ultimately, we should be resilient enough humans that um, we can, buffer some of these things, right? Oh, our melatonin level didn't get to the right weight, get to the right spot, optimal level, whatever that might be. Who knows? Because we can't really measure it, the average person. Um, but we should be okay, right? We should still eventually be able to fall asleep. Maybe our sleep is a little bit delayed. Maybe we get, short on a little bit of sleep. But stressing out about it is only going to further the problem, right? We're only going to make the melatonin release even worse, and then we're going to be up later and we're going to make the problem even worse when we get less sleep than we would have if we just said, up. I had to do some work late at night and I was working staring at a computer screen right until I went to bed. Not going to worry about it. Tomorrow's another day and I'll deal with whatever sleep I can have because I'm a robust human, and I'll get up the next day and I'll be right back to my normal self, and I'll just go about my time. And the next night I'll make sure that I, you know, turn off the computer a little bit earlier because I won't have as much work, and I'll be able to get a good night's sleep then. And there's other things around, like, how do I train? Like, when is the optimal time to train, right? So, like, for example, if you're the people say, like, oh, the optimal time for resistance training is in like the early afternoon because that's when your testosterone is at its peak level, right? Maybe I think that's the case. Anyways, you get the point. It's, my testosterone's at this peak level, and that's the right time to train. Well, what if you have to train in the morning? Like, what if you have to train first thing in the morning, wake after waking up, right? Like, cortisol's not really that great. You're a little groggy. You haven't eaten a meal. Your testosterone is not the best, right? But if that's the only time you can train, that's the time you got to train, right? That's it, right? It's not. It is what it is. It's better than not training at all, right? That is 100% better than not training at all, right? And people worry about, oh, well, then you spike your cortisol by doing the strength training, and that's stressing you out, and it disrupts your cortisol rhythm. And but it's, maybe to some degree, if you're an overly stressed person, maybe doing some intense fasted exercise in the morning is probably not the best thing. We can dial that back, right? But if you're a relatively stress balanced person, you're going to wake up, you're going to do a couple intervals. Yeah, you might send your cortisol a little bit higher, but it's, you have to fit in your training when you can fit it in, and it is what it is. And stressing about that, optimal time to do something is probably worse than just doing the thing and not worrying about it, right? Um, and so you also see this for, like, I've obviously zero experience in this, but I do have a lot of female clients, and so I get a lot of questions about this, and, like, people ask a lot about training with their menstrual cycle, right? Like, and oh, should I be doing this type of training during this time of menstrual cycle, or should I be doing this type of training when I'm doing that, this part of my menstrual cycle, or I shouldn't fast here, or I should eat more carbs here. And honestly, I mean, I'm not a female, but, like, I'm baffled by how complex some of the suggestions get out there. Um, it's very intimidating. I can only imagine for someone who doesn't, you know, even if you are a female and you have a good handle on what the menstrual cycle is, like, the complexity involved is like, oh, how are you ever going to keep track of all this, and when you're supposed to do it all, and whatnot. And, like, I think that there's probably, you're definitely going to feel different things during different parts of your menstrual cycle. I completely agree with that. And obviously, hormone levels are going to fluctuate over the course of the menstrual cycle. Completely agree with that. I think that's all great knowledge to have. But ultimately, it comes back to me as a health coach, like, regardless of whether you're a female trying to, train the right way at the right time in your menstrual cycle, or if you are a male trying to train at the right time during the day to optimize testosterone or whatever, right? Whatever you're trying to optimize hormone wise, like, do you feel good at this moment in time? Like, did you wake up today? Do you feel good? Do you feel like the workout that you're about to do is appropriate for the way you feel right now? And if it is, go ahead and do it. Like it, whether it's quote unquote the best thing to do at this time because of my hormones, male, female, I don't really care. Like it doesn't matter to me. Or the same thing could be said about like HRV. Like today, for example, I woke up and my HRV was like crap for whatever reason. I no idea why. Felt like I feel fine, slept fine, everything looked really good. I didn't have any like drinks or anything like that. No reason, no reason I could think of why my HRV was crap. And like some people would be like, I can't train today. Nope, the HRV is bad. I can't train today. And for me, I'm like, oh, it's bad, but I feel pretty good, so I'm just gonna keep on going with what I'm gonna do. The same thing can be said about your hormone levels and different points and whatever cycle of the hormones are, right? Like how do you feel at that moment? Do you feel good enough to do the workout that you're about to do? And if so, then I say go ahead and do it, right? Um, it's great to try to be perfect with everything, but it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic to plan everything out in modern day life so that it is everything is optimal all the time. It's just not possible, right? It's not possible for anyone I've ever worked with. Not possible for me. It's not possible for anyone. So you got to do what you got to do on that day and use your body's, the way your body feels as the ultimate decision of how, of whether to do that exercise or do the thing or not, right? Don't let external technologies trying to predict what the hormone level is at this point in this time in this day in this month of, whatever, right? Like ultimately you don't know, right? Your hormones, you can't in an instant look at what your hormones are. Maybe someday you can, but right now you can't. And so you have no idea. You're guessing that they are the way that someone says they are, the research says they are for the average person. You're not, it doesn't look at everyone. It's the average across a group of people. And so everyone is actually different, and has, different hormonal cycles, etc. Right? So like just because the study says this is what's happening at this point in the day or this point in the month doesn't mean that that's true for you. It just means that's what it looked like on average for a set of people. Um, so ultimately, it's the way you feel, how you perform, what works best for you. Whether it's the right time for you to do that workout or to eat that food or whatever. And so my message is like it's great. Like I love tech, I love science, I love research, I love the things that we can learn about the human body. But sometimes trying to be smarter than the human body itself, because ultimately the body is going to tell you, give you some kind of sign if something is not right. Like you're going to feel a certain way if it's the not, if you don't have the right amount of energy, or if the food that you did or did not eat provided the right thing for you at the right time. Like it will tell you, right? And so if all signs are green, you feel good, do the thing that you're going to do. Like just don't sweat trying to be optimal and trying to say, well, I feel this way but I shouldn't do this because really right now I'm probably in this point, my hormones are here and I'm not going to do that, right? um just you know don't stress about it, just do it, right? And if you feel good and you're going to feel good afterwards, and you'll probably be okay, you'll be better for it. The thing I worry about with a lot of this stuff is like just becoming anti-fragile, is becoming more fragile. Like, oh, I can't train because my HRV is bad. Oh, I can't do this because I shouldn't be doing high intensity interval training under a fasted condition. Oh, I can't do this type of workout, or I shouldn't be eating more carbs now because I'm in this point in my menstrual cycle, right? But you can't, like, if everything else says you're good to go and you can do that fasted exercise, you can lift this weight, or you can eat this food, then go ahead and do it. Like it's not, you're not going to break yourself by doing these things, and it's going, most of these things are positive interventions, and so you're going to get a net benefit out of doing them, whether it's optimal or not. That's the way I look at it. I guess that's how I would leave it. Um, yeah. So I hope you found that interesting. If you have any questions or comments about that, or want to have a discussion about that topic, which I know um, people have their different opinions about that, and I'm always happy, like I say, to talk to people about varying opinions about things and share thoughts and ideas in a respectful manner. And so, if you have any questions or comments about that, feel free to leave comments below. Or um, if you want to message me privately, you can definitely do that. That's fine too. And with that, I'll encourage everyone, if they want to keep up with the content that I put out on a weekly basis, please go to my homepage at rjbhealth.coach. Click on the newsletter tab at the top and sign up for my newsletter. You can enter your email address there, and then I'll email you all these videos and blogs and whatnot that I put out on a weekly basis right to your inbox. You don't have to stalk me anywhere. And if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, I do have a few spots open for that as well. So please, again, go to my website, rjbhealth.coach. Click on the schedule discovery call button on the homepage and fill out that form, and I'll get right back to you and we can chat a little bit more about whether we'd be a good fit to work together. With that, I hope everyone has a great week, great weekend, and we'll talk to you all next week.